Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a filing from DexCom, a company that helps people manage diabetes. It might not sound super exciting, but trust me, there's a little twist in the tale that involves some behind the scenes board shuffling. Think of it like a corporate game of musical chairs. So what's the story? Basically, DexCom added a new member to their board of directors, but it took them a little while to figure out exactly where she would fit in. Let's decode what this all means and why it matters. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we discuss these filings. This filing is an amendment, meaning it's correcting or adding to a previous report. In this case, it's amendment number 1, so it's the first change to the original report. The original report, called a Form 8K, was filed because of an event that needed to be reported to the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. That event happened on March 6, 2025. The initial report filed in March announced that René Gala was joining DexCom's board of directors. Think of the board as the group of people who make big decisions for the company, but when they made the initial announcement, they hadn't yet decided which committee she would be on. Committees are like smaller teams within the board that focus on specific areas, such as finances or compensation. This updated filing from May tells us that René Gala will now be a member of both the Audit Committee and the Compensation Committee. The Audit Committee is responsible for making sure the company's financial statements are accurate and that the company is following all the rules. The Compensation Committee decides how much the company's executives get paid. So she's involved in both watching the money and deciding how it's spent on executives get paid. So she's involved in both watching the money and deciding how it's spent on executives. So what does this all matter? Well, the Audit Committee is a very important committee because it oversees the company's accounting practices. Having someone new on that committee means a fresh set of eyes on the financials. It's like getting a second opinion from another doctor. It can help ensure that everything is being done correctly and ethically. Similarly, the Compensation Committee decides how much the top executives get paid. This is always a sensitive topic because shareholders want to make sure that executives are being paid fairly, but not excessively. Having a new voice on this committee could lead to changes in how executive pay is determined and not. The top executives get paid. This is always a sensitive topic because shareholders want to make sure that executives are being paid fairly but not excessively. Having a new voice on this committee could lead to changes in how executive pay is determined. Now, it's worth noting that the filing itself doesn't give us a lot of detail about why René Gala was chosen for these committees or what specific changes she might bring. That's often the case with these types of filings. They're more about reporting the facts than explaining the reasoning behind them. Let's think about the bigger picture. DexCom is in the business of making devices for people with diabetes. It's a growing market as more and more people are being diagnosed with the condition. DexCom competes with other companies that make similar devices, so they need to be innovative and efficient to stay ahead. The decisions made by the board of directors and its committee doesn't set executive pay at the right level. It could discourage executives or upset shareholders. To companies accounting, that could damage the company's reputation and stock price. If the compensation committee doesn't set executive pay at the right level, it could discourage executives or upset shareholders if the audit committee finds problems with the company's accounting. That could damage the company's reputation and stock price. If the compensation committee doesn't set executive pay at the right level, it could discourage executives or upset shareholders. On DexCom's last full report, we can look at a few numbers to see how the company is doing. Accounts receivable, which is the money owed to them by customers, was over $750 million. This means that there are a lot of customers that still have not paid yet, but it's also a signal of a healthy company. Another value to consider is property, plant, and equipment, which is what the company owns to operate. This was just over $1 billion. This is good since it helps make sure the company can make the items they need. Lastly, the total liabilities came in around $3.8 billion. This is a big number, but it means that the company has enough money to pay them. Now, looking at these numbers more broadly, DexCom appears to be in a relatively strong position, which is very important in this day and age. They are generating solid revenue and are managing their expenses reasonably well, but they also face some challenges. The market for diabetes devices is becoming increasingly competitive, and there's always the risk that new technologies could disrupt the industry. The company also needs to be careful about managing its debt and ensuring that its accounting practices are sound. All of this is to say the company has some moving parts, so it's important to keep an eye on everything to know what is going on. Alright, that's our breakdown of DexCom's latest filing. What's your take on these board changes and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.